There is a version of you you haven't met yet, stronger, faster, more confident, and unstoppable, but you will never meet that version by staying where you are. Every limit you believe in is a story, not a fact. The truth, you are capable of so much more than you've ever allowed yourself to imagine. The day you decide to push past your excuses, past your comfort, past your fears, that's the day the impossible starts to bend in your favor. Life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who push. You have to understand something powerful. Your limits are not real. The things you call impossible are simply the things you haven't stepped into yet. Every single one of us has been taught to believe in boundaries, boundaries of ability, of intelligence, of opportunity, of strength. But those boundaries were not put there by reality. They were put there by repetition. You've heard the same voices over and over. That's too hard. That's not for people like you. You don't have what it takes. You heard it enough times that it became familiar, and somewhere along the way, familiar became believable. But familiar is not truth. The truth is this: you are not even close to your potential. You have barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. If you think back to any moment in your life where you were pushed outside of your comfort zone, where you were scared, where you were stretched, where you didn't know what to do, and you still moved forward, even if you stumbled, even if you failed the first time, something changed in you. Growth didn't happen when you felt confident. Growth happened when you stepped forward unsure. Growth happened when everything inside you screamed to stop, but you kept going. That is the real you, not the comfortable you, not the cautious you, the resilient you, the powerful you. People talk about hitting their limits like it's a brick wall. It's not, it's a doorway. You just have to stop waiting for the door to open and start kicking until it breaks. Think about it. Every champion, every innovator, every person you admire has faced something that felt impossible. The difference wasn't that they had more talent or more certainty. The difference was that they were willing to push. They were willing to get uncomfortable. They were willing to feel the fear and move anyway. They expanded their identity one choice at a time, one challenge at a time, one uncomfortable step at a time. And every time they pushed, their world expanded. That's how transformation works. You don't wake up suddenly confident. You build confidence by doing the things you once believed you couldn't do. You earn it through action. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they settle for the current version of themselves. They accept the limits they've been handed, the labels they've been given, the excuses they've rehearsed. And the moment you accept those limits, your life shrinks to fit inside them. But the moment you challenge them, your life expands. You were not designed to stay the same. You were built to evolve. Your mind, your spirit, your body, every part of you is wired for adaptation. That means the second you push past what you thought was your limit, a new capacity awakens inside you. You start to realize that what felt difficult yesterday becomes normal today, and what feels impossible today becomes inevitable tomorrow. Some people wait for the perfect moment. They wait for motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait for the fear to disappear. But the waiting is the trap. Confidence doesn't show up before action. It shows up because of action. Strength doesn't show up before the challenge. It is built inside the challenge. You already have everything you need to begin. You already have a mind built to stretch, a heart built to handle pressure, and a spirit built to rise. The question is not whether you can, the question is whether you will. You have to push even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel unprepared, even when people doubt you, especially when you doubt yourself, because every time you push, you gain proof that you're stronger than you think. Proof that you're capable of more. Proof that the voice of fear is not the voice of truth. And the more proof you collect, the faster the impossible starts to crumble. There are two versions of your life waiting for you. One is built on excuses, limits, comfort, and hesitation. The other is built on courage, action, growth, and possibility. You don't get the second one by thinking about it. You get it by pushing. You get it when you show up on the days you want to quit. You get it when you take another step, even if your legs are shaking. You get it when your mind says, I can't, and you answer back, watch me. That is the moment everything begins to change, because the world doesn't transform when you feel strong. The world transforms when you decide to push yourself anyway. When you get to that place where fear is loud, uncertainty is real, and doubt is screaming, you don't back down. You push harder. You push until everything you once thought was impossible becomes part of your story. You push until your limits aren't limits anymore. You push until possibility becomes your new normal. Push yourself until everything is possible. Emotion is the spark, but discipline is the engine that drives the entire machine. People wait for motivation as if it's always going to be there, as if every morning they're going to wake up inspired, energized, and ready to conquer the world. But you and I both know that's not how life works. That there will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel discouraged, days when the voice in your head tells you to hit the brakes. And if you rely only on emotion in those moments, you stop. But when discipline takes over, everything changes. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't ask for permission. It shows up and gets the job done. People think success comes from motivation. It doesn't. Motivation gets you started. Identity and discipline keep you moving. When motivation disappears, the real breakthroughs happen on the days when you don't want to show up and you show up anyway. That's where transformation hides. That's where self-respect is built. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you take action despite resistance, you build a new identity. You begin to see yourself as the kind of person who follows through. And once that identity locks in, success becomes a natural byproduct. Emotion is powerful, but emotion changes. One minute you're inspired, the next you're frustrated. One moment you're confident, the next you're questioning everything. That's why discipline matters. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. You don't get stronger when everything is easy. You get stronger when you train your mind to move anyway. You can't live your life based on whether or not you feel like it. You live your life based on what you've committed to. If you look at anyone who has achieved something extraordinary, you'll discover a pattern. They didn't succeed because they always felt motivated. They succeeded because they built rituals, they created habits, they made their standards non-negotiable. They didn't say, I'll try, they said, I'll do. Trying is a loophole, trying gives you an exit. When you commit fully, there are no exits, only results. Think about how many dreams have died because someone waited to feel ready. They waited for the perfect moment. They waited until fear disappeared. But readiness is a lie. The only way to be ready is to begin. Action creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Action creates power. You don't think your way into greatness. You act your way into it. Success is not about feeling. It's about deciding. It's about showing up. It's about pushing yourself again and again until consistency becomes your default. You will have days when your emotions try to control your decisions. Days when your mind says, stop, it's too hard, it's not worth it. And that's the exact moment where average people quit and successful people rise. Discipline is the ability to hear that voice and move anyway. Discipline is doing what needs to be done long after the mood has faded. Discipline is choosing progress over comfort, growth over excuse, and purpose over weakness. You don't need to move fast, you just need to move consistently. Small repeated actions beat intense inconsistency every time. 5 minutes of effort every day will destroy 1 hour of effort once a month. It's not about the size of the work, it's about the frequency of the work. The more you show up, the easier it becomes to show up. A disciplined mind learns that quitting is not an option. And once quitting is off the table, success becomes inevitable. Some people think discipline is punishment. It's not. Discipline is freedom. Freedom from guilt. Freedom from regret. Freedom from the weight of what if. Freedom from the pain of knowing you could have been more. The greatest pain in life is not failure. It's knowing you held back, knowing you had more inside you and you didn't give it. Discipline protects you from that pain. It gives you control of your destiny. So when your motivation fades, and it will, don't stop, don't wait. Call on discipline, call on commitment, call on the version of you that made the decision to begin. You don't need to feel powerful to take powerful action. You just need to act. The emotion will follow, the confidence will follow, the results will follow. Because when discipline leads, success has no choice but to follow. Push yourself with discipline when motivation disappears and watch the impossible unfold. You are built to adapt. You were designed with the ability to grow, to stretch, to break through what once felt impossible. Human beings are wired for evolution. Your mind is not a fixed machine. Your body is not limited by what it has done before. Your spirit is not confined to what you've already experienced. Every challenge that shows up in your life is not there to crush you. It's there to develop you. Pressure doesn't weaken you. It shapes you. It sharpens you. It builds you into someone stronger, smarter, and more capable than before. Think about the toughest moments of your life, the moments that shook you, the moments that scared you, the moments that forced you to change. You didn't grow during the easy seasons. You grew during the storms. You didn't become stronger when everything was comfortable. You became stronger when you were forced to adapt. That's how growth works. Growth doesn't ask permission. Growth demands pressure. Growth demands resistance, and the beautiful truth is this. You can handle far more than you believe you can. Your mind will try to lie to you. It will say, this is too much, I can't handle this, I don't know what to do. But every single time life has pushed you, every single time you've been stretched, you survived, you learned, you adjusted, you adapted, and here you are, stronger than before, even if you don't see it yet. Strength doesn't always announce itself with confidence. Sometimes strength shows up as survival. Sometimes strength shows up as perseverance. Sometimes strength is the simple choice to keep going. You have a built-in mechanism that activates when things get hard. You discover a side of yourself that wasn't needed when life was easy. You discover resilience. You discover creativity. You discover problem solving. You discover emotional and mental muscles you didn't even know existed. Challenges reveal the depth of who you are. They show you what you're made of. And most people never tap into that strength, not because it isn't there, but because they avoid the situations that would bring it out. Comfort might feel safe, but comfort is the enemy of transformation. If you never put pressure on a muscle, it never grows. If you never stretch a mind, it stays small. If you never push a life, it remains stuck. And right now, there is a version of you waiting on the other side of discomfort, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more powerful version. But you don't meet that version by staying where you are. You meet that version by pushing, by trying, by stretching beyond your current capacity and letting your instincts and spirit rise to meet the challenge. Some people look at obstacles and they collapse. Others look at obstacles and they activate. That's the difference. When life hits hard, you don't shrink, you don't retreat, you don't give in. You rise, you adapt, you transform. You're not meant to stay the same. You're not meant to plateau. You're not meant to spend your entire life repeating the same level. You are meant to evolve, and evolution only happens under pressure. Every time you push yourself into new territory, something incredible occurs. Your brain rewires, your beliefs shift, your sense of identity expands. You begin to realize that things that once felt impossible are now within reach. The challenges that once scared you are now manageable. The goals that once felt out of your league are now within your grasp. Why? Because you adapted, because you stretched what you thought you were capable of. And here's the secret most people never understand. Confidence doesn't come from winning. Confidence comes from surviving difficulty. You don't believe in yourself because you never fall. You believe in yourself because you fall and you find a way to get up. Every time you get up, you build the muscle of resilience. You train your nervous system, not to panic under pressure, but to respond. You train your emotions, not to collapse, but to stabilize. You train your identity, not to break, but to bend and return stronger. Your life can change faster than you think, not when everything goes right, but when everything gets hard and you refuse to stop. That's when the real transformation happens. Pain is not the signal to quit. Pain is the signal that you are growing past your old limits. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is the invitation. Discomfort is not a warning. Discomfort is a doorway. When life challenges you, don't ask, why is this happening? Ask, who is this making me become? Because every challenge is building you. Every struggle is strengthening you. Every setback is preparing you. You're not losing. You're being shaped. You're being sharpened. You're being trained for a level you haven't reached yet. So when the pressure shows up, don't run, don't hide, don't shut down, lean in, keep moving. Trust your ability to adapt. Trust your ability to grow. Trust the process that is shaping you into someone unrecognizable from the person you were before. You are built to adapt, built to rise, built to overcome, built to transform. Push until the world sees it too. People want massive change. They want the big breakthrough, the life-changing result, the success story that makes everything worth it. But most people never get there because they expect transformation to arrive in one dramatic moment. They think change is something that happens overnight. It's not. Change is something you build in quiet, ordinary, disciplined moments when nobody is watching. You don't leap from where you are to where you want to be. In one jump, you climb, you step, you repeat. Small daily victories are what create impossible results. Every great achievement is just a collection of small choices stacked on top of each other. Every strong body is built one workout at a time. Every successful business is built one decision at a time. Every talented athlete, every powerful speaker, every successful entrepreneur becomes great because they commit to small actions every single day. They didn't win because of one huge moment. They won because they refused to stop showing up. You don't have to run a marathon today. Just walk a mile. You don't have to change your entire life today. Just make one strong choice. You don't need to master everything at once. Just improve one thing. Progress isn't loud. Progress isn't flashy. Progress isn't instant. Progress is consistent. The most powerful people in the world aren't always the most talented. They're the most consistent. They found the courage to do what others do occasionally every day. Small steps build unshakable confidence. Each time you follow through, each time you do what you said you would, your brain learns that you can trust yourself, and self-trust is where real power begins. Some people think confidence is something you're born with. It isn't. Confidence is earned through repetition. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself until you no longer doubt your ability to follow through. Consistency becomes your evidence. The reason so many people never break their old patterns is because they only act when they feel motivated. They do the right thing once in a while, when the mood is perfect, when the stars align, when everything feels easy. The problem is, life doesn't give you success on perfect days. It gives you success when you show up on the imperfect ones. One day of effort means nothing. A lifetime of effort means everything. If you worked on your dream for 10 minutes a day, 365 days a year, that's over 60 hours. That's a book written. That's a new skill learned. That's a habit built. That's a life changed. Your future does not care about intensity. It cares about consistency. It cares about your ability to keep going. It cares about what you do repeatedly, not occasionally. Think about a seed. You plant it in the ground and nothing happens. You water it, still nothing. You water it again, nothing. You keep going, days pass, weeks pass, still nothing. Then suddenly, one day, a small green leaf breaks through the soil. Did it appear in one day? No, but most people quit before that day arrives. They stop because they can't see the result yet. They walk away right before the breakthrough. Your goals work the same way. You don't get feedback instantly. You don't see changes instantly. You don't feel progress instantly. But the work is happening. Something is growing inside you. Something is shifting. Something is developing, even if you can't see it yet. That's why small steps matter. They build the foundation before the world can see the building. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you move one step closer. Every time you show up when you don't want to, you move one step closer. Every time you take action instead of talking about taking action, you move one step closer. And eventually, the world starts to notice. People will call it luck. People will call it talent. They will never understand how many small steps it took for you to turn the impossible into reality. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you look at the size of the mountain, but you don't conquer a mountain in one leap. You conquer it one step at a time. And every single step counts. Some steps feel small, some feel insignificant, some feel like they don't matter, but the truth is every step matters. Every step is progress. Every step is evidence that you are becoming the person capable of reaching the top. So stop waiting for the big moment. Stop waiting for the burst of motivation. Stop waiting to feel ready. Just take one step today, a message written, a call made, a workout done, a lesson learned, a habit practiced, a fear confronted. One small action today, another tomorrow, and another the day after that. You don't need perfection, you need momentum. And momentum is built by doing something today that you'll thank yourself for tomorrow. Small daily victories create massive change because they build habits, and habits run your life. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Build the right habits, and success becomes inevitable. Build the wrong habits, and failure becomes automatic. Every day you show up, you're telling your habits who's in control, you or your excuses. Your future self is watching the choices you make today. Every effort counts. Every step matters. Every small win is a seed that will grow into something powerful. You don't have to prove everything today. You just have to prove one thing. You're not quitting. Small daily victories turn impossible dreams into an inevitable reality. You can have all the talent in the world, all the resources in the world, all the opportunities in front of you. But if the story you tell yourself is small, your life will stay small. Your story is the blueprint of your destiny. It shapes your beliefs, your identity, your confidence, your decisions, your actions. Most people never change their lives because they never change the story they repeat in their mind. They keep replaying the same narrative. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve success. It's too late for me. My past is holding me back. People like me don't win. That story becomes their cage. Your past doesn't limit you. Your story about your past does. Your fear doesn't stop you. Your story about fear does. Your failures don't shape your future. Your interpretation of them does. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it will build a prison just as easily as it will build a kingdom. You get to choose which one. Every time you tell yourself you can't, your brain believes you. Every time you repeat a limiting thought, you strengthen that belief. And over time, those beliefs start running your life. You don't even question them anymore. You accept them as truth, but they're not truth. They're just habits. Mental habits, emotional habits, and habits can be rewritten. Your life changes when you change the conversation happening inside your head. The strongest force in the human personality is the desire to remain consistent with the story you believe about yourself. If you believe you're weak, you'll act weak. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll stop trying. If you believe you're broken, you'll give up on healing. But if you believe you're capable, you'll find ways to win. If you believe you're worthy, you'll stop settling. If you believe you're powerful, you'll take action even when you're scared. You don't need a perfect past to build an incredible future. You don't need approval. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait. The most successful people in the world weren't born confident. They didn't wake up fearless. They just decided to rewrite their story. They decided that their identity would no longer be shaped by their excuses, by their failures, or by other people's opinions. They chose a different narrative. Maybe you've been carrying the same old story for years. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good enough and you believed them. Maybe you made mistakes and convinced yourself that you were done. Maybe life knocked you down and you rewrote your identity around that pain. But hear this, a broken chapter doesn't mean a broken story. You still have pages left to write. When you change your story, you change your standards. When you change your standards, you change your behavior. When you change your behavior, you change your life. Everything starts with belief, not because belief is magic, but because belief unlocks action. A person who believes they can succeed will work harder, try longer, take more risks, and show up after everyone else quits. Belief doesn't replace effort. It fuels it. Most people never reach their potential because they keep arguing for their limitations. They defend their excuses. They justify the life they don't want. They cling to their old identity because it's familiar, even if it's miserable. But the moment you stop arguing for your limitations, you become dangerous. The moment you stop repeating the story of what you can't do and start telling the story of what you're capable of, your world expands. Your story shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your direction. Your direction shapes your destiny, and you can change all of it by choosing different words. Tell yourself a story that makes you stronger. Tell yourself a story that gives you permission to rise. Tell yourself a story that aligns with the life you want, not the life you're trying to escape. You are not the person you were years ago. You are not the person you were last month. You are not even the person you were yesterday. You are evolving. You are learning. You are growing. Every experience, good or bad, has shaped you into someone wiser and stronger than you realize. So stop using your past as a reason to stay small. Use it as a reason to rise. The moment you rewrite your story, you rewrite what's possible. You stop running from your challenges and start running toward your potential. You stop asking, can I be successful? And you start saying, how successful will I become? You stop settling for survival and start building a life of purpose, power, and impact. You don't need a new life first. You need a new story first. The new life follows the new story. Change the belief, and the action will change. Change the action, and the results will change. Change the results, and your entire life will transform. But the first change happens in your mind. Rewrite the story you tell yourself, and there is nothing you cannot become. Rewrite the story and watch your entire world expand. You have one life, one chance, one shot to build something meaningful, something unforgettable, something that outlives every fear, every excuse, every doubt that ever tried to stop you. The question is never, what can I achieve? The real question is, how far am I willing to go? Because the truth is simple. The people who reach the top are not the ones with perfect circumstances, and they are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to settle. They are the ones who live with hunger. They are the ones who decide that their goals are non-negotiable. When you want something badly enough, you stop asking for guarantees. You stop playing safe. You stop tiptoeing through life trying not to fail. You step into the arena and you fight for it. You face rejection. You face discomfort. You face fear. You face the days when everything goes wrong. And through all of it, you keep moving. That's what separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers talk, achievers act. Dreamers hope, achievers decide. Dreamers wish, achievers work. There's a level of obsession that makes the impossible possible. When you're obsessed with growth, you don't wait for opportunities, you create them. You don't hope for strength, you build it. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You turn messy moments into progress, because greatness doesn't come from convenience. It comes from a standard that says, I will not quit, I will not shrink, I will not fold, I will see this through. You must live with the attitude that success is the only acceptable outcome, not probably, not hopefully, not maybe. Write it down, commit to it, burn the exit doors. When you remove the option to quit, winning becomes your only direction. And when winning becomes your only direction, your behavior changes, your discipline changes, your energy changes. You stop acting like someone who might win, and you start acting like someone who will win. If you treated your goals like they were life or death, how different would your effort look? How different would your habits look? How different would your results look? Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because their goals are optional. They fail because they're willing to back off the moment things get uncomfortable. But when something matters deeply, you find a way. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when it's done. You don't quit when it gets hard. You push harder. Passion starts the journey, but purpose sustains it. You need a reason bigger than your excuses, a reason that pulls you through the storms, a reason that wakes you up when everyone else is sleeping, a reason that keeps you going when nobody is watching and nobody is applauding, a reason that reminds you that this isn't just about winning, it's about becoming. If you're going to live, then live fully. Don't settle for half effort, half dreams, half commitment. Make a decision to pour your soul into the things that matter. You deserve a life you're proud of. You deserve a future that excites you, but you will never get it by staying comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Comfort whispers, slow down, stay here, play small. And that's how lives shrink. That's how dreams die. Quietly, slowly, silently, under the weight of hesitation. Choose to be the person who goes all in. Choose to be the person who pushes when everyone else stops. Choose to be the person who decides, I will not leave this world wondering what could have happened if I tried harder. Your potential is not some distant fantasy. It's right here. It's the choices you make every day. It's the effort you give when nobody claps. It's the promises you keep to yourself. It's the voice inside that says, I refuse to settle for average. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need approval. You just need conviction. You just need hunger. You just need to say, I want this more than I want comfort. Life is short. Time is passing. Whether you move or not, 1 year from now, you will look back and feel either pride or regret. Pride because you pushed, or regret because you held back. And regret is heavier than failure. Failure lasts a moment. Regret lasts a lifetime. So give everything you have. Give your energy, give your discipline, give your courage, give your sweat, give your focus. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be relentless. You just have to stay in the fight. You just have to push one more time when everything in you says stop, because that one extra push, that one refusal to quit, that is often the difference between almost and achieved. Don't just exist. Don't just survive. Don't just hope your life works out. Build it, chase it, fight for it, push until your potential becomes your reality. Push until your vision becomes your life. Push until people look at you and say, I can't believe they did it. And you smile because you always knew you would. Push yourself until everything is possible.